Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids are obsessed. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again. Check it out at yotoplay.com. YOTOPLAY.com.
The next evolution in football storytelling, Football Manager, is back in our lives. Made with the Unity engine for the first time, Football Manager 26 refreshes the managerial experience and sets the stage for you to define your football destiny. I still remember that one save where my non-league squad went all the way to the Champions League final. It was pure heartbreak in extra time, but that's the magic of FM. Every decision, every tactic, every touch of the ball tells your story. Experience the richest match days in series history, complete with enhanced player movement, the full Premier League license, and for the first time ever, the women's game. Thank you to the great friends at Sports Interactive, the great team behind FM26, which is now out worldwide across platforms. Step into the dugout and change the game.
Hi, this is Knox from the Popcast with Knox and Jamie. And maybe like us at the Popcast, you also know people who have been smokers or vapors. And Zyn is the one product it seems like everyone is talking about, because there are many good reasons to make a change to Zyn nicotine pouches. Reasons like Zyn nicotine pouches are still America's #1 choice for smoke-free, hands-free nicotine satisfaction. And you can choose between 10 varieties, each variety available in either 3 or 6 milligrams. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
This holiday, Verizon is helping you bundle up incredible gifts and savings. You'll get the latest phone with a new line on My Plan and a brand new smartwatch and tablet. No trade-in needed, even on our lowest price plan. That's 2 gifts for your family and 1 for you. Or 2 for you and 1 for someone else. Or 3 gifts for you and only you. Either way, you save big on 3 amazing gifts at Verizon. All on the best 5G network. Visit Verizon today. Rankings based on Root Metric Truth Score report dated 1/8/2025. Your results may vary. Service plan required for watch and tablet. Additional terms apply.
The next evolution in football storytelling, Football Manager, is back in our lives. Made with the Unity engine for the first time, Football Manager 26 refreshes the managerial experience and sets the stage for you to define your football destiny. I still remember that one save where my non-league squad went all the way to the Champions League final. It was pure heartbreak in extra time, but that's the magic of FM. Every decision, every tactic, every touch of the ball tells your story. Experience the richest match days in series history, complete with enhanced player movement, the full Premier League license, and for the first time ever, the women's game. Thank you to the great friends at Sports Interactive, the great team behind FM26, which is now out worldwide across platforms. Step into the dugout and change the game.
Hello, I'm Sarah, and welcome to the Whispering Woods Reddit and listener story episode. I've got 3 freaky Reddit stories to share today. I'll get straight into them. Are you ready? For the first story. Unsettling Grandma. Hey, it's my first time writing anything like this, so bear with me. This happened around a year ago, when I was 19, before December. I was chilling at my house, when suddenly, someone rang our doorbell. So I went to answer it with my father. Before our door, a poor grandma, around 80 years old, stood there, holding like 3 heavy bags full of groceries. She quickly spoke up, as she asked if we have a car, which we replied we don't, and asked why she needed one. She said that she had a heart problem, didn't take her medicine, and that she was feeling dizzy. I offered to call her an ambulance, but she said she did not want to annoy them and that she has already asked a bunch of people who just laughed her off. I had some time before my boyfriend came from his work party, so I told her to wait a second, that I would escort her home. I grabbed a coat, some shoes, and my nearly dead phone, and went with her, only telling my father that I'm going out. Mind you, it was now around 8:30 p.m. She started telling me how she feels sick while I carried her heavy bags and told me that she lived at the bottom of a hill that we have here. So we walked together, but she stopped every few meters to take a breath as she was around 80 years old. After like half an hour, we got to the bottom of the hill, but suddenly she says that she lives way more up. I thought, okay, but the hill was connected to a forest and the lighting there was poor. So on the left, you only saw dark forest, and on the right, a few houses. As I dragged her bags up the hill, she kept on making stops every few seconds. And the more she made them, the more I started to feel paranoid. My phone was almost dead, and some creepy noises were coming from the forest. After almost another half hour of listening to her stories about life, she started to make weird remarks. Every time I looked into the forest, she kept on telling me not to look, since there is nothing there, only animals. Not weird, right? But she kept on saying something about her rich neighbour that wants to murder her and must not see us together or he would shoot us. The more we walked up the hill, the more sick I felt. Then we finally made a turn into a dark alley without any light as she slowly dragged herself against the railing. She forced me to duck my head and even turn off my light, telling me that the neighbour will murder me. The closer we got to her gate, the more ruiny and abandoned it looked. It was around 9:35 p.m. when we got to her gate that she chained up at the bottom. She didn't allow me to use my light to release the chain. I was so stressed out that I just did it my way anyway. The gate creaked as I peeked into an overgrown garden full of trees, not even seeing a house. It was dark, and she told me to go deeper in, but carefully as it had no path and tree branches were in the way. After a few minutes, suddenly, a large man with unkempt beard and hair came out, greeting us, and introducing himself as her son, as he started to lay down small candles near the trees to light up our way. I felt like throwing up, as I started to fear for my life, feeling like I was walking into some sacrificial ritual. After the man excused himself to grab more candles, I just made an excuse to the grandma that my mum is calling me, and quickly made my way towards the gate as she was telling me something. I was nearly pooping my pants there, so I just banged the gate behind me and took off running, peeking behind myself every second as I was thinking that the man would be sprinting after me. After getting down the hill and into my house, it was already around 10 p.m. Her house is like a 20-minute walk from my house, but her stops every second made it longer. When I got home, I realised that my father did not bother telling my mother I even went outside. So when I told her what happened, she freaked out, as literally no one knew I went out for more than an hour, not even my boyfriend, other than my father. The grandma was probably mentally ill, but damn, it was so darn creepy. It has been around a year since it happened, but the image of the candles lighting up the overgrown garden and not seeing even a small building creeps me out. My boyfriend keeps on telling me, what I did was stupid. And yeah, it was. Creepy moment. Every time I tell it to anyone, they ask me if it really did happen, as it sounds so creepy. Oh, I really didn't like this at all. It does sound like the person was being lured to the house. And the bit about not looking into the forest, there's nothing there. Of course there is. If you say something like that, there is definitely something in the forest. And I think it was a kind of ritual setup. But maybe my mind is running away with me. I don't know, because it does do that. That was a tricky situation to get yourself in. And I'm all for helping the elderly when I can. But it is a bit of a lesson, isn't it? To be careful. Just watch your back in whatever you're doing. Are you ready for the second story? I've been hearing an automated hi and hey every so often in my bedroom, only when I'm alone. I'm convinced I'm being watched. Hey everyone, I'm looking for any advice, or if anyone has ever experienced something similar. I'll explain the story and then provide some more evidence. Last week, at around 1 p.m, I was on my bed relaxing. The first time I had ever heard it. It was a continuous hi, hi, hey, hi, hey. The voice sounded automated. I live in a university house with 4 other girls, with paper-thin walls, and thought it was one of them pranking me, or doing it through a speaker or something. So I didn't read into it too much. The next time I heard it, it was around 10:30 a.m. I'd just woken up, and the same thing happened, repeating hi and hey around 4 to 5 times. I instantly texted my roommate upstairs, since we share vents, and sometimes hear things back and forth in our rooms, probably from the connected vents. But when I asked, she was utterly confused and scared. I moved on, still just trying to figure out if it was a cat toy or my TV. Then a few days after that, it was around 4 p.m. this time. I was sitting at my desk just doing my makeup and getting ready for my class when it happened again. This time, I'm positive it was louder, and it repeated for far longer, approximately 10 minutes. I froze in shock and terror, and proceeded to quickly tap video on my iPhone to record it, when it finally stopped. Luckily, I caught one hi on video, and ran upstairs to my roommates freaking out and played the video for them. Out of the 5 of us girls, I'm the only one who has heard this, and everyone is extremely confused. Here are some facts I have. My room is very empty, consisting of a bed, TV, nightstand, desk and mirror. I have no weird wall decor or clock or anything of the sort. Everything that's in my room has been in my room since September or October. These past 3 times are the first times I've ever heard anything of the sort in my room. I have an Amazon Fire Stick TV. I've gone through and checked voice callback settings, which are all off. And even when I turned it on, it sounded nothing like the voice I've been hearing. I also have a Google Home clock right beside my bed. I've had this clock for about 5 years and still never heard anything. It's now unplugged. It's not a Siri-like voice, not a Bluetooth connected type of voice. It's automated, yes. It sounds kind of muffled but still loud, as if coming from some kind of speaker. If I were to describe it, I'd say it sounds more man-like than female. I haven't contacted the house owners yet. No unusual or suspicious person has been in the house, let alone in my room. We had one maintenance guy come, but he was only upstairs. I'm one of 3 basement bedrooms, and so far, the only one to be experiencing this in our house. I looked around the inside and outside of my window and haven't seen anything speaker or bug-like. Edit. 1 week later, over the weekend, all my roommates and I were away visiting friends. I had a close friend house sit and watch my cat. She decided to sleep on the couch, but realised she needed to borrow a computer charger. She went to my room for a maximum of 10 minutes, and as she was walking to the bathroom to wash her face, she told me she heard it. It would have been around midnight. My thoughts. Clearly, whatever this is, knows someone is in the room. It seems to be going off with a purpose. I'm trying to attach the video. The hi is right at the start of the video, and there's a link that I'll include in the podcast notes. Even just saying hi, hey, that kind of thing, it'd be so terrifying. Just those few little words that are meant to be a greeting, a nice greeting. But if they're coming out of nowhere, it's got a completely different edge to it. Such an ominous feel. I also like the bit that the friend backed up. I need somebody to back it up as well. It's like when the voice in my back garden in the woods was saying my name and my sister backed it up. She's like, yeah, it was saying your name. That made it more terrifying, but it also confirmed for me that I wasn't going mad. Are you ready for the third story? Childhood encounter with a demon. I'm 62 and can count on one hand the number of people, including my wife, I've shared this with, and her just a few years back. Now I'm here sharing with the world. This is 100% true. I was around 5 years of age, but I was not yet in kindergarten. We were visiting my grandparents on my father's side. They lived roughly 3 hours away from our home in Missouri. They lived in Kansas. Somehow, and I don't know how or why, I wanted to spend the weekend with them. At this point in my life, I had never slept away from home. I have no details whatsoever of the stay, but this. I slept in bed with my grandparents, with me in the middle. On my back, my grandmother to my left, and my grandfather to the right. They both slept on their sides, facing out to the room. There were end tables on both sides of their bed, and each had a lamp. Both lamps were lit and left on for some reason. Maybe for my comfort, I don't know. I woke in the middle of the night on my back, staring up at the ceiling. For some reason, I immediately put my chin on my chest and looked down my body past my feet. At the foot of the bed stood what appeared to be a hobbit-looking man. Later in life, I ran across a book called The Sword of Shannara. I was stunned by the figure on the cover on the right-hand side. His head barely came up above the height of the bed. He had bright red hair with a beard and bright red eyes. His hair and beard almost glowed, they were that bright. I was frozen instantly with fear and could not move my body or my gaze. It wasn't from his being there, but what he was. I have never experienced such evil and hatred in my life. It's as if that was all this thing was made of. It filled the room, like you could touch it. It's all that it was. It never took its eyes off of me, and I knew somehow that it hated me and wanted to kill me. It was more, though, than hating me. and wanting to kill me. It was like it wanted to devour me to the point I had never existed. The hatred was overwhelming. The anger and hate in its eyes was the witness to itself. I knew somehow he wasn't allowed on the bed to kill me, but if I was to get off the bed, he was able to. Like those were the rules. And they were. I say that I know somehow because that's what it was. Like somehow knowing, a revelation of sorts. It began running around each side of the bed, as if he was looking for a way to get to me. From my grandmother's side on the left to my grandfather's side. Every once or twice it would stop at the foot of the bed, looking back at me. And each time, the hate and evil just grew. When I say it was just made of hate and evil, that's all it was. Nothing else. We haven't come up with the words to describe the exposure to it. If you could add more fear, it would be when he would go around to the side of the bed. I knew it was closer now than the foot of the bed. Only the first time out of the corner of my eye did I realise I couldn't see him because my grandparents' backs were too tall for me to see over, so I knew he couldn't see me. There was some comfort in that. Something must have been happening in my spirit, but I heard a voice inside of me say, "Go to sleep. Everything will be okay." Immediately I found myself awake the next morning. I screamed for my parents to be called and come and get me. I never told anyone what had happened, but I guess the state I was in, my grandparents wasted no time in calling my parents, and somehow they knew it was serious enough to rush and get me. For some reason, I never really cared for my dad's mum. Maybe because she played favourites with grandkids. I loved dearly my dad's father. Shortly before moving out of the house on my own, my father told me a story of when he was a child. His mother and other family members would fool around with a certain kind of board. Not long after, I would start seeing apparitions for years, but not him. For all my life, I thought we'd meet again at some point in the middle of the night when I opened my eyes. I'm not a child anymore, and that voice still lives in me. Go to sleep. Everything will be okay.
Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids are obsessed. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again. Check it out at yotoplay.com. YOTOPLAY.com.
Hi, this is Knox from the podcast with Knox and Jamie. And maybe like us at the podcast, you also know people who have been smokers or vapors. And Zen is the one product it seems like everyone is talking about. Because there are many good reasons to make a change to Zen nicotine pouches. Reasons like Zen nicotine pouches are still America's #1 choice for smoke-free, hands-free nicotine satisfaction. And you can choose between 10 varieties, each variety available in either 3 or 6 milligrams. Check out zen.com/find to find Zen at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
That is so bad. Nanny and Grandad's house is meant to be the safest and most perfect place in the whole wide world. I can remember staying at my Nan and Grandad's house when my mum went to Paris on a boat, and she'd never been anywhere before, and it was my mum and dad. And it was a really stormy night. And I can remember staying at my Nan and Grandad's in the guest room. They had a double bed and all 3 of us sisters were in there. It's just really quite vivid. There weren't any ghosts in it, but it's meant to be safe, isn't it? You're meant to feel tucked in, everything's okay. So to have something creeping around the bed is a no-no. That's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you again tomorrow. Take care, everyone.
This holiday, Verizon is helping you bundle up incredible gifts and savings. You'll get the latest phone with a new line on My Plan and a brand new smartwatch and tablet. No trade-in needed, even on our lowest price plan. That's 2 gifts for your family and 1 for you. Or 2 for you and 1 for someone else. Or 3 gifts for you and only you. Either way, you save big on 3 amazing gifts at Verizon. All on the best 5G network. Visit Verizon today. Rankings based on Root Metric Truth Score report dated 1/2025. Your results may vary. Service plan required for watch and tablet. Additional terms apply.
The next evolution in football storytelling, Football Manager, is back in our lives. Made with the Unity engine for the first time, Football Manager 26 refreshes the managerial experience and sets the stage for you to define your football destiny. I still remember that one save where my non-league squad went all the way to the Champions League final. It was pure heartbreak in extra time, but that's the magic of FM. Every decision, every tactic, every touch of the ball tells your story. Experience the richest match days in series history, complete with enhanced player movement, the full Premier League license, and for the first time ever, the women's game. Thank you to the great friends at Sports Interactive, the great team behind FM26, which is now out worldwide across platforms. Step into the dugout and change the game.
Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids are obsessed. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again. Check it out at yotoplay.com. YOTOPLAY.com.
The stories told on the Whispering Woods are inspired by historical records, witness reports, and local folklore. While every effort is made to research and represent events accurately, some details, names, and locations may differ from official accounts or have been changed out of respect for those involved. These episodes are created for storytelling and entertainment purposes and should not be considered definitive fact or investigative journalism.